Hello, my name is James Arroyo, and welcome to part 2 of Chapter 8. Previously, we've discussed organizing and the strategies of doing so. Now we're going to be turning those strategies into practice, into outlining. So, have you ever gone into a paper or a speech and not outlined before you started writing? That is a very common trend. However, outlining saves time, saves effort, and will actually improve the quality of your writing. And the same is true with public speeches. Have you ever had a time when you're writing down a speech or a paper when you're like, wait a second, this doesn't actually go here? There was something that I just can't remember where it went or that I wrote down. I just don't remember where in my paper I wrote it down. All of these would be avoided if we do outlining. So there are three big reasons as to why we outline. First, it helps you to be organized, keeps information orderly and accessible. So the main points are furthest to the left, and then subpoints are further to the right, and then sub-subpoints are even further to the right, clarifying points as we go further right. So we will be able to then know where our information is. It's in this subpoint, it's in this main point, and by doing so, it keeps it organized and accessible not only for us, but also for the audience. Also, it helps check the logical progression of ideas that we figure out real quickly when a support that we have doesn't really fit the point that it's in. Also, um, that we also find out when main points don't have enough support. If there's just one support for a main point, then we need more, and we're able to figure that out very quickly. And then practicing the delivery of your speech. When we practice the delivery of our speech, we do that through outlining because, as we've said before, organizing helps us better understand, remember, and recall information, and that doesn't just work for the audience, it also works for us. So when we have an outline in our note card, it allows us to remember and recall a lot of the information that we are presenting to the point where we don't even need a full script. We just use the outline as a reminder of what you're about to say. So some guidelines of what your outline should look like for this class. Am now talking about the final draft outline. First, it uses complete sentences. It uses standard outline numbering. There are um, easy tools to use both in Microsoft Word as well as in Google Drive to help you organize and outline your speech. Also, properly indent those points. Each subpoint must have at least two subdivisions, and then write and label your speech with the speech topic as well as the specific purpose at the top. So we've talked about what we expect. Now we're going to go through the process of outlining. First, we start with a working outline, and this is just writing down random points or your main points onto a piece of paper. This is the very first stage of outlining to see the weightiness of points. Once we've gone through that, now we jump to a formal outline and start working on it. The formal outlines will be more detailed, used to identify and organize main ideas. It lists supporting materials in sentences. It literally writes out your information of your speech. State the specific purpose of your speech, identify the central idea of your speech, and label the introduction, body, and conclusion of your speech. You also then use consistent pattern of symbolization and indentation. As I've said before, there will be tutorials on Canvas to help guide you through some of the symbolization and indentation challenges associated with Word and Google Drive, or I should say, the tools to overcome the challenges of symbolization and indentation. Also, you state the main points and subpoints in full sentences, label transitions, internal summaries, and internal previews, attach a works cited, and then give your speech a title. All of which are uh, expectations of formal outlines. So, with an outline, is this easy to understand? No. Unfortunately, sometimes we see these in outlines, and it's not an outline. This is just simply a big block of text. This, however, gets easier. This gets even easier, and this gets even easier. The reason why is because the main points are there highlighted so that we can then determine what's support, which are these parts, what are subpoints, which are these, and then the main point is here. So we've talked about a formal outline. So we go from working outline to formal outline. Are we done yet? No. We then go from formal outline to a speaking outline. The reason why we do this is because outlines can also help us with delivery. I like to think of this transition from a formal to a speaking outline like a bomber to a fighter jet, where the big formal outline is useful, has full sentences, has every piece of information in there as well as citations and everything you could possibly need. And then the speaking outline is more nimble. It's faster to read. It's useful only as keywords or phrases, uses just the bare essentials of what you are saying, and gets straight to the point so that you go from sentences to small phrases to then keywords. The reason why this is not as good as this, because this shows, it takes me a second or two, or in a real formal outline, it'll take a lot longer for me to read that. And I'd be more likely to just start reading instead of this, where I already know the information because I've written it down, I've researched it, I know this information. Now it's just about presenting it. I know the information, I have it in my mind, I just need to simply share that information. But it's too much information for me to just go in without a piece of paper to make sure that I know what I'm saying. So by transferring it to a keyword outline, it helps me remember my organization, recall the specific information so that I can say things authentically without reading, and I avoid the need to memorize my speech just through a delivery outline or a speaking outline like this. So speaking outlines are less detailed. They are used as delivery aids, not as not to compile all of your work. Usually consists of keywords or phrases on index cards. The funny thing is that the way that this person is holding an index card is actually wrong. In fact, what you want to do is you want to hold it vertically in the palm of your hand so that you have it, you're talking, and then you look at it for a second and then you're back to it. It's less visible. Also, it will preserve space on your note card. Also, it matches the structure of the preparation outline, matches the outline as briefly as possible in single words or small phrases, shortens the intro and conclusion. There are still transitions and supporting material, but there are just small keywords or phrases on it, as well as some of the citation material to cite where that information is coming from. Don't list the specific purpose or topic at the top of the speaking outline, because it is not to show your work, it is just to recall the information for you. Some guidelines, again, Follow the visual framework, make sure the outline is legible, keep the outline as brief as possible, and give yourself cues for delivering your speech. The funny thing is that you can even put cues on your cue cards. That you can have things like breathe at this point, make a pause here, make a gesture here. Those small delivery cues can help you help you uh, put your delivery into action. That concludes this lecture. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.